Hey guys, this is Will. I am here at the Moody Theater in downtown Austin, Texas with my buddy Jmix. Jonathan, how's it going, man?
Going good, man.
So Jmix is out on the road with Elevation. If you're familiar with what Elevation does, you know Jmix. Jmix is basically running the show back here. There's some people on stage, but he's back here doing a lot of stuff. It's pretty noisy, so hopefully you'll be able to hear as well. But what I thought we would do is, we did a video, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Walk through your setup. It looks like stuff's changed a little.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
But one thing that I'm particularly interested in how Jmix is using, and particularly about his setup, is you're using both the SW8.
Yep.
And you're using two Play Audio 12s.
Yep.
But you're not really doing redundancy in like the typical sense of redundancy.
Yeah, I'm kind of jerry-rigging it a little bit to make it do what I want it to do, so yeah.
So before we even walk through the rig, tell me, like, why are you here? Maybe even why are you here and not someone on stage doing this?
Yeah.
And what's the role that tracks, clicks play for Elevation?
Yeah, absolutely. So, at a base level, the tracks are playing the same role in the sense of just filling out what the band's not doing live on stage.
Yeah.
And at a basic level, I'm back here just editing, making things kind of sound or arrange the way they're supposed to be for tonight's show.
Okay.
But a lot of what I'm doing too is hopefully allowing for the band to not feel so structured into a specific kind of way they have to play each song. Some songs, that's just going to be how it is. But for other spots in the set, they really want the ability to kind of be free and flow. And I use my rig to hopefully do that at a high level and keep our production level and our sound level high with keeping those tracks in, keeping visuals in line. Hopefully lighting is following along with what I'm doing. So, yeah.
And I think that's such a big point because people think we can't use tracks because we can't be spontaneous.
Yeah.
We're on rails, but that's why you're here.
Yeah.
You're giving the band the excellence of using tracks, but with the freedom of what most people would think not having tracks gives them.
That's the goal.
That's awesome.
That's the goal.
Let's start first. You've got 3 computers.
Yep.
Do you watch YouTube on this one? Facebook on that? Like, why do you have 3 computers?
Hulu.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All the sweet things at once. So talk us through first your 3 computers, and we'll just kind of run through all the gear stuff.
Yeah. So this is the primary computer that apparently wants to update, but we'll do that whatever.
Always updating.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al.
Anyway, this is my primary computer with my main session. So you can see I'm in arrangement view, basically just a typical kind of down the line set list type of session. And then if you look on the far side here, this is my actual true redundant backup, which is slaving to my primary over a network.
Okay. And is that RTP network MIDI, or is that a network through
that is
MIDI
actually Ethernet network MIDI.
Cool.
Yep, I've got an Ethernet switch in the back that all my computers are on, and so I'm sending MIDI and putting them on a network all within that kind of system.
Sweet.
And then my middle computer, this is my flow computer, but the primary kind of can become a flow computer when I want it to. But basically what's here is I have a bank of kind of all the songs we play at church, and then tonight, I have the whole set list kind of ready to go in individual session view sessions to where I can use my controller to kind of manipulate, fire stuff, bring tracks down, bring tracks up, fire sections as they come, and follow the MD or be the MD depending on the scenario. And when I said the primary can become a flow computer, what I'm doing there is I might be flowing in There's a Cloud here on this middle computer, and they end There's a Cloud and start kind of singing another song. I can get them onto that new song click here without ever switching, and then I can have that new song pulled up on my primary, fire it in time, switch over, and now I can flow on this computer using this controller here.
So it's almost like you're kind of DJing.
Yeah, it's kind of like
this song going, you get the other song.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And it's just I found it really clunky to try and have one master set list of 1 million songs and toggling through. This just kind of streamlined it for me. I can have one chorus button, one bridge button that for no matter what song I pull up, I can be mapped to have that be the chorus. It made a lot of sense in my head. That's kind of why I set up that way.
Well, one thing that I love is so obviously I talk a lot about using Ableton for tracks, creating a setup that's spontaneous, that's flexible.
Yep.
And I hear a lot of people say, well, to have spontaneity, you've got to be in session view. But obviously with arrangement view, with locators, you can do that. But I'm interested in, for you, in the particular way, because here's the thing that I love. You can do this a million different ways.
Yep.
You've got to find what works best for you.
Yep.
So for you, what draws you the most towards this being the main machine and this being the flow machine?
Yep.
And how are you best flowing the easiest by using this setup?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that threw me into Session View for my flow stuff was honestly this controller. And
which one is this?
This is the APC Mark 40 or APC 40 Mark II.
Cool. Okay.
So it's got this really awesome kind of master scene fire grid here that is obviously acting as a control surface for whatever session is open. It's not just a MIDI controller. It's actually an integrated control surface for Ableton.
Yeah.
So in Session View, it's got this really great grid here where I can kind of toggle through and fire any section of the song really easily with this master scene section here. And for me, that was just visually easier, kind of seeing my bank, toggling through, being able to fire any section at any time.
And it's great because you you're going to go to the bridge, so you can go get it queued up.
Exactly.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's a benefit of, because you're so hands-on.
Yeah.
You can do this, which is a little more hands-on than just here and a couple buttons.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that.
And I have my bridge button, my chorus, I've got the main song sections mapped so that in a pinch, if they just all of a sudden go really fast on me, I can't prep it. I've just got a big bridge or a big chorus that I can fire.
For every song?
For every song,
okay.
Yep. So every song is mapped out this way in those individual sessions. So honestly, that's what has me in Session View. There are times specifically at church where it's easier for me to just put markers in my arrangement session, map them to buttons, and fire stuff that way. But for this scenario where I'm really hands-on the whole time and can focus on it, I love that Session View kind of toggling functionality.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And how much in your main arrangement view set does this change every night? Or is this the thing and this is kind of where you're changing?
Man, it depends. It depends on, usually in the first week or so of the tour, we're chopping and changing set lists, kind of getting stuff around. But typically, if they come off script, I'm not really trying to mess around with my main session. If they come off script, I'm getting to my flow computer as fast as possible because that's where I can react faster and kind of follow them quicker. All these sessions have time code in them. And also the ability to send MIDI if I need to send MIDI to guitars or MIDI to consoles or whatever. So it's all ready to fire what it needs to fire, and especially the time code's a big deal. So I try, if they go off script, I'm going straight to the flow computer as fast as possible.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So let's do this. I know we're about to start a question and answer here.
Yeah.
So quickly talk us through, let's talk redundancy.
Yep.
And then let's talk how you're using the Play Audio 12 and SW8.
Yep.
And then let's talk your controllers. And then let's finally talk about, we're just at this station, but I'm looking to my left and to my right.
Yep.
You're controlling a lot. So let's start with redundancy. What's your redundant setup look like?
So my primary pure redundant setup is running through the SW8s.
Okay.
So real quick, I'll go through it. I know we're going to put this up, but real quick, basically I've got my primary and my flow computer going into this one Play Audio.
Okay.
And I'm using this left button here to toggle the AB on that Play Audio.
Okay. And A is your main machine, B is your flow
B
machine.
is my flow computer.
Okay.
So if you picture whatever that is on, it's got 12 outputs.
Yep.
10 I'm using. Those 10 outputs are going into input A of the radial, SW8. This computer, the backup, is going into its own SW8, outputting to input B of the SW8.
So it's on Play Audio 12.
Play Audio 12, sorry. And then it's outputting into input B of the SW8. So I can toggle to the backup here.
Okay.
A, B, A, B. So no matter where I am on this first interface, if I switch to backup, the SW8's gonna flip, and all I'm hearing is backup.
That's great.
And so that's just kind of a little hack I found with this JR2 remote where I can take one side out to the first Play Audio 12 and the other side out to the SW8, and I can use it to toggle both. So
now, before we walk through the other stuff, so your outputs are going in your SW8.
Yep.
How many outputs of the SW8 are then hitting front of house?
Yep. So basically, we're outputting 10 channels.
Okay.
Obviously, click and timecode are not going to front of house. Well, they're going to front of house, but we're not hearing them. But then we're doing a stereo hook channel, stereo loop channel, stereo drum channel, and stereo background vocals that are kind of just supporting what's happening on stage.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this guy is basically toggling between main machine and flow machine.
Yep.
And then this one is saying, no, let's go to our backup of this set.
Doesn't matter which computer I'm on here. If I go to backup,
It goes to that guy.
Yeah,
That's great.
Exactly.
So that's like your safety. You always know it's there.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's talk about controllers.
Yep.
You've got a lot of controllers. I'm assuming you don't just love controllers, but there's a purpose for each of them.
Yeah. So this first controller is always just controlling my main session, and so if something does go wrong and I need to fade out loops, I can do that right here. The second controller is operating on my Flow computer, obviously operating in that session view kind of world that I talked about before.
Yep.
And if this goes to a session view flow session here, I can operate it in the same way as this.
That's that one. Great.
But those are only going to those individual computers.
Okay.
This guy here is basically my main firing controller, and so.
And this is a beat step, Arturia.
Yeah, Arturia beat step.
Yep.
So this is actually going to an iConnect MIDI 4.
Okay.
And then via Ethernet MIDI, it's being sent to all three computers.
Okay.
So.
And that's using the built-in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
built-in
audio MIDI setup.
Yep.
Not that anyone will be able to see, but basically I've connected to, there's 4 different MIDI ports on that Ethernet.
Yep.
And so each computer's on its own port, and it's
Okay.
receiving MIDI from this that way.
Awesome.
So it's basically just a master, song cue, and fire.
Great.
And that's basically that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about tracks. We talked about your controllers, your
Yep.
computers. What all are you controlling? Maybe we start here with what we have in the
Yeah.
room, too.
So the Kempers are in the case right now. Actually, for this tour, there's no connection. We've done
Okay.
it in the past, and I'm still trying to work them into feeling comfortable with
Okay.
me kind of helping to trigger scenes for them. Honestly, they've been kind of setting and forgetting the Kempers and doing all of their
Pedal
toggling
stuff.
on their pedals.
Yeah. So it's just here. It's hanging out.
It's hanging
not
out.
using it. Okay.
They're renting my rack space here. So,
There you go. Hopefully paying a good price.
yeah. Over here we've got the visuals rig. So this is Resolume and ProPresenter. ProPresenter is being siphoned into Resolume as a
Sweet.
layer.
Okay.
And so basically I'm setting time code and MIDI over that MIDI network to the Resolume machine.
Okay.
So a MIDI note cues the correct visual, and
Yeah.
then time code
Keeps it in sync.
keeps it playing. Yeah.
Okay.
And so-
And are you sending MIDI to ProPresenter, or is someone manually triggering?
Yeah, so we're only using ProPresenter for a few of the acoustic set portions.
Without,
of this.
like, a lyric
Yeah,
video.
without
Okay.
lyric video. So that's just manually fired by our visuals guy, Liam. So, yeah.
And I think that's a good point to pull out. Is yes, you could do that,
yeah.
but you don't necessarily have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got this crazy setup, but you don't have to MIDI cue your ProPresenter in.
Yeah.
You got to do whatever serves your situation.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's great.
it works out. And most of our visual content has a lyric layer that's playing as a video file.
Okay, great.
So it kind of works out where the time code keeps everything going. So it's
Sweet.
great. And then the last thing I'm doing that's probably relevant to this is the monitor console over there. I'm sending MIDI control change to the console and firing all of his snapshots in perfect time with anything that's happening. So he's got snapshots within the songs for different sections, for guitar solos, or I don't know, just all these different sections that you would want to change your monitor mix slightly.
That's awesome.
And so control change MIDI is going and firing his snapshots.
Are you coming 5-pin out of here to the console, or how are you getting
Yeah.
to? Okay,
So
cool.
that's 5-pin out of a 5-pin DIN port here.
Okay.
Just a hard line right to the console.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
This iConnect MIDI basically is spitting out everything for me.
The heart of the show.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. As most iConnect stuff is for
Yeah,
everybody
I don't know,
these
for
days.
real. They're awesome.
Well, that's awesome.
But yeah.
Well, dude, Jmix, thanks so much, man.
Absolutely, man. It's a
It's
pleasure.
always great to hang.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know more about how to use Ableton live on stage, to perform, to have freedom, to have flexibility, check out From Studio to Stage, where we talk about how to do everything Jmix is doing, but don't tell them it's a little simpler than all this. But no, learn how to do all the crazy stuff Jmix is doing using one MIDI foot controller, however you need to do it, however serves your church best, your cover band best, a band that's playing stadiums, whatever situation it is. We're going to talk about a good way to use Ableton for you. So Jmix is hanging out. He's checking out what we got going on. It's a blast. We'd love to have you be a part of it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye.